Hello everybody, my name is Gregorn. Today I'm going to be attempting my very first ever Nuzlocke, and I'm going to be doing it in Pokemon Shining Pearl. I decided to do it in one of the newer Pokemon games just so it generally looks better. And also, because since it's my first one, I wanted it to be not super crazy difficult, so I decided to do it in a game that has and I didn't want to spend hours and hours just leveling up my Pokemon in between gym leaders. So I did one of the newer ones, that way we get the XP share, just so it's a lot less time consuming to go through and get everyone to the level cap. I've never done a Nuzlocke before, so there's definitely going to be some bumps in the road, some learning experiences for me. So far, the first episode that I have here, which took about a few hours of footage, it was very fun. I'm enjoying it. Definitely puts an added challenge into the game for me, rather than just over leveling your Pokemon to way above the gym leader's ace there, making it far too easy just being able to wipe out their entire team with one Pokemon. It definitely puts in more of you definitely have to think a lot more about who you're going to put in when, if you need like safe switches, who's more important for future. So I'm enjoying it so far. As we look into the rules that I have for myself in the Nuzlocke, basically one encounter at every single route, and if they end up fainting, they are gone. They're basically dead to me. We also are playing with a species clause, so each encounter that I get, it has to be a different Pokemon at every single route, and then I can keep getting encounters at each route until I get a different Pokemon. And then finally, the level cap of the gym leader's ace. We will have to keep all of our Pokemon at that level at the start of the battle. So if when we get into the battle and we start playing a little bit, we over level and level past his ace, that's okay, as long as we are at his ace's level once we start. As you can see here, I named my rival Crybaby because that's what he looks like, a big old crybaby. And as we go into picking my starter, I was looking, I was open to definitely all three of them. The last time I played through this game, I chose Turtwig. I've never used Chimchar, but I've played with Piplup a little bit in the past. So I decided to go with Chimchar. Just, a little bit of extra fun. Also, I know he is super good. As we get into our first battle here, just with our little buddy Chimchar now. We're fighting the Starly. Very straightforward. I don't think it's even possible to lose this first battle against the Starly. I think they pretty much make it so you have to win just about every time. So very anticlimactic. Now the beginning of this video is just going to start off with pretty much all the encounters that I get. I'm going to get a ton of encounters throughout the entire game here. Most of this video especially because we just run into so many new routes and we don't have any Pokemon, so it's a lot of just building my initial team here. First, after we get into it, on Route 201, I discover a Bidoof, and that's going to be our first caught member of the team. I decided to go with for themes of our names for our Pokemon as a bit of an outer space theme, so you can see I named Chimchar Mars. Once I catch this Bidoof, I will name him Neptune. Looking into Chimchar a little bit, he has a mild nature with the ability Blaze. And then the Bidoof that I'm going to get here, he's going to have a hardy nature with the ability Unaware. Now, Bidoof is Bidoof, mostly known as a HM slave, so... but, I mean, he is a solid Pokemon. You can definitely take him through as your main team throughout the entire game. So it's expected first capture of the whole run, but definitely, you know, a useful one. We're going to be able to utilize him throughout the whole thing. You can see while I was thinking of the nicknames for some of my guys, take a little longer just to, I want to make sure I get the right one, you know. I really think about it, and I decided that's a Neptune. He looks like a Neptune kind of guy. You know what I mean? He's a Neptune kind of guy. Now, as we get into our next encounter, I decided, even though Chimchar, the starter, was from Lake Verity, I decided not to count that as an encounter at Lake Verity. So I went back to the lake, and I found a Starly here. The Starly that we're going to grab, he is going to have a quiet nature and the ability Intimidate. So it's really awesome to have an Intimidate Pokemon on the team. Super useful. Definitely will come in handy throughout the whole thing. I decided to name our Starly Luna. And then when we get them up to a Star Raptor, that'll be super, super helpful for us. Very good, you know, one of the better starting flying type Pokemons that you can get throughout the games, I think, Star Raptor. So I'm excited to have him on the team. Again, expected. I was fully expecting to have a little Starly encounter at some point. If not this route, then another one. And then again, I decided to name our little Starly Luna. Just because gray, moon, lunar, Luna. Makes sense. Makes sense. It's a Luna kind of thing. Absolutely. But I do take a little bit longer choosing these names. I really think about them. I want to make sure I get the right name. You know, these Pokemon mean a lot to me. So I want to make sure that I give them the right name. Alrighty. Next up, we are on Route 202, where I discover a Kricketot. Kricketot, not the greatest Pokemon in the game, but it's nice to see early evolution into Kricketune, so that'll be nice, just to have an evolved Pokemon early on. But again, even once it evolves and you get past kind of the very early game, not the greatest to have. And I mean, the early game generally, as long as you don't make some silly mistakes, is fairly easy, where you can go through the first couple gyms pretty much with maybe just a couple of your guys. But it is nice to be able to have an early evolution Pokemon. This Kricketot has a impish nature and the ability Swarm. And then I decided to name him Saturn after the yellow ring around his neck there. Reminded me and my girlfriend of the rings of Saturn. So we decided to call him the good old Saturn boy. Just sticking with the space theme. So now we're already up to four team members here, which is pretty good. Early game. Some not the best in the world, but for this early in the game, not bad. As we move right along into another encounter here, we find a Bidoof on Route 204. And you'll find throughout this episode that this is going to be one of my better captures. Bidoof will be one of the mainstays on the team here, especially throughout this first episode. Does a lot of work as we get more so towards the Orberg mine. Puts in a lot of work. our Badoo here is going to have a hardy nature with the ability Poison Points. I like the ability Poison Points a lot. Physical move is used on Badoo, he will automatically poison the opponent, which will come in very helpful in certain situations. You can see here we're just leveling our team members up, adding in more. We're already up to 5. We almost have a full team going already, and it's pretty far before we even fight the first gym leader. And then the first gym leader has a level cap of 14, just so we all know. I will not be leveling up my Pokemon past level 14 before we fight that gym leader. For Badoo here, I decided to nickname him Pluto. I don't know why. He looked like a Pluto to me, so that's our Pluto. As we get into our next encounter, I found the old rod, and then I decided to just go right over to Route 218 here, fish up a little bit. It looks like we got a nibble, and we find ourselves a Magikarp. Now, Magikarp in the early game, not going to be great at all. He only knows Splash, which sucks. Sucks ass. But once we get him evolved into a Gyarados, when the level cap starts to rise a little bit, he'll be super, super good. Definitely one of the best encounters we might get. And of course, I'm going to catch him. Our Magikarp here is going to have a bashful nature with the ability Swift Swim. So if I can set up Rain when he evolves into our Gyarados there, that'll be huge. Just boost his speed up greatly. As we can see, most of my team they're mostly around like level 9. Pluto was the most recent, so he's a little lower than everyone else. But we're going to hold on to this Magikarp. We're going to keep it on the team so we can just level up throughout. Really won't be able to use him for anything. Obviously, when naming the Magikarp, it's Pisces. There was no other name that would work for our little fish here. So Pisces ends up being our 6th member of the team, which is exciting. We already have a full team, and we haven't even gone towards Orberg City. So our next encounter is going to come on Route 203. It's a really good one. We find ourselves in Abra here. As long as we can catch it with the first ball, which not always able to do, but as long as we catch it with the first ball and it doesn't teleport away, we had ourselves a pretty good team member, and we got it. Now, Abra, as it stands right now, also similar to Magikarp, sucks ass, is not good. He only knows teleport until he levels up a little bit, but once we can get him evolved, he's strong psychic type Pokemon, which will be nice to have on the team in certain situations when we need a psychic type. Our Abra here has a lonely nature and the ability Synchronize, which that'll be nice if anyone ever puts us to sleep or poisons Abra. We'll do the same right back to them. Pretty much like a no-you type of situation. We decided to name our Abra Mercury. Look like a Mercury kind of guy. I don't really know if it looks like a Mercury, but that's what I went with. He's a Mercury. He will be our 7th team member. And then as we get into Orberg Gate here, we get another encounter, and that's Geodude. Geodude, our first rock type. Be very helpful when we run into any flying type Starlies, anything like that. Definitely be able to utilize him. Again, an easy capture. We've already gotten our up to 8 Pokemon on the team there. throughout this, while catching them and battling the random trainers and stuff like that, our Kricketot ended up evolving into Kricketune. And then I shipped him out to the box. He's already basically, like, I already have 6 other members that I either want to get leveled up so that their evolved forms will be on the team, or just some better options over the Kricketune there. So Saturn is in the box. Now, Geodude, obviously, I named it Asteroid. Connect the dots here. It makes so much sense. He's literally a fucking rock. Now, our first battle that I put into the video, I think you can guess why I may be putting battles into the video, especially if it's from a Rainer or a random trainer in the Orberg mine. So I've been starting off with Pisces, just to get him a little bit of extra XP so I can get him leveled up a little bit quicker. Now, throughout the whole thing, I've been using Pluto as my main Pokemon while in the mine here, and he's been put in work. But our Neptune got a little underleveled, even though the Machop is a fighting type and our Neptune here is a normal type. I figured, he can get it done. We'll use Rock Smash here. We'll get the drop into defense. Unfortunately, he used Leer, which dropped my defense, and then all of a sudden a Revenge just demolished Neptune. So our first death of the run was our second friend there, little Neptune, our Bidoof. So it was a huge mistake on my end. I immediately go back into Pluto, who Machop is not super effective against. But it's tough. Such a stupid death so early on. You definitely don't want to see that. But that's part of the learning experience with these Nuzlockes. If you just don't know, there's just no way to know. As you can see, even the Machop brings my Pluto down to one more hit would kill him. He was probably even dead to a crit there, which is scary because he's been so, you haven't seen too much, but he's been so important. Very good, especially in this mine. So I decided to go to Mars, our little Chimchar. We'll Ember him just to finally get past this Machop. I find that right now, as it stands, fighting types are a bit of a problem. But once we can get Mercury, our Abra, evolved, that'll help that problem a lot. As we can see, I find our gym leader who has ran away into the mine. He shows me that he can break rocks, how he's so strong he is, and then runs back to the gym. While looking around for items and then heading back to go fight the gym leader here, I run into another encounter. We get a Zubat here. Now Zubat, once he gets evolved all the way up to a Crobat there, he's going to be probably one of the stronger encounters, along with Gyarados probably, that we'll get throughout the entire run. So as long as my stupidness doesn't get our little Zubat friend now killed in battle, we're going to have a super strong team member throughout the entire game. Our Zubat has a careful nature with the ability Inner Focus. And then I decided to name him Milky Way with the purple and the blue there. I thought it looked like a pretty cool, like galaxy colors. So I figured Milky Way was a good name for our little Zubat friend. So now our team is, one death throughout the whole thing, but our team's looking pretty strong. We have a lot of Pokemon. We have 3 of them now in the box even. And we're basically just holding on to Abra and Magikarp on the team just to get them a little bit of level up. Just so we can, get a little bit closer to that Gyarados and that Kadabra. So it's looking pretty good to start, for sure. But next up, we're going to have to try and get that first gym badge. That is really, that's really going to be the main point of the whole video here, is getting that first gym badge, really showing that we are on our way to completing this Nuzlocke. So as we go into the gym, we're going to fight the 2 trainers. They do a very good job, very cinematic. Ooh, we're in a gym, how cool. But let's get into the fights with the 2 trainers before the gym leader here. See, they're not too bad. I think they each have only just the one Pokemon. It's a Geodude here, so we're going to start with our Pisces, just to be able to get him a little extra XP. But we're immediately going to go into Pluto here, because Pluto's going to be putting in work on these Geodudes. So we bring Pluto in, our Grass type. Again, he's putting in work. So him and Mars are the 2 that are going to be leveled up the most. So if we hit Geodude with an Absorb here, that's it. Our first trainer's out of the way. Real easy. I don't know why our gym leader chose him to defend his gym. Kinda sucked. I don't know. I think along the way I fought some better random trainers. But youngster Jonathan here, I don't know, must be family or something. That's the only thing I can think of. Because he is not very good at Pokemon. Not good at defending gyms. So as we go into the our second little trainer battle, we have youngster Darius. Again, don't know why he's defending a gym. Doesn't make much sense. But must be family. That's all I can think of. He's got connections. Darius actually does have 2 Pokemon. As you can see, we started with Pisces once again, and we're going to go straight into Pluto. And Pluto, again, is just going to do work for us. Immediately, we just hit Geodude with the Absorb, take him out like it's nothing. Throughout the whole thing, Pluto is just taking down Geodude and Onix's like crazy. They really had no chance. The only time I ever had to use 2 Absorbs is when they had Sturdy. As you can see, he's going to bring in an Onix now. So I'm just going to leave Pluto in there. Just let him do his thing. Onix is a cool looking Pokemon for sure. Like a big old rock snake. But ultimately, he's not good. Onix is one of the worst Pokemon, stat-wise, throughout the entire series. What's cool here is you can see Mars is going to level up to 14. He's going to be, when we go to fight the gym leader, the only one who's even at the level cap. I decided I didn't want to take extra time and get everyone leveled up to 14. I figured he'd be easy enough. But since we got Mars up to the level cap of 14, he's already going to evolve. So that's pretty cool. Instead of Chimchar, we're going to be bringing in Monferno, which will help out. Especially because you're going to see, once he evolves into Monferno here, he is going to, he's going to be learning a new move here, Mach Punch. Mach Punch is going, you'll see as we get into the gym leader, is going to be very helpful for our team. So we'll take Mach Punch, and finally we can battle the gym leader, our first gym leader, Rourke. Full team of 6. I'm not too worried. Also, he is the first gym leader, so I don't think he's going to be the greatest. Now we'll see for sure just how it goes down. He's going to start with a Geodude. Not too bad at all. I decided to start with Pluto instead of Pisces for the gym leader, just to have him in, so I don't have to do a switch out to start. But we'll hit the Geodude with another Absorb. Super effective. taking the Geodude out. So it's a good start. Good start to the first battle here. We get Pluto up to 14, and then Mercury and Luna also level up in the background there. Now, like I said, this was a pretty easy battle. Especially with the first two Pokemon, pretty easy. So he's going to send in an Onix here. But our lady actually, Pluto, going to get hit with a rock throw. But that's not going to stop. We're just going to absorb that Onix. Doesn't actually kill him, since the Onix is a bit of a higher level than the ones we've been previously seeing, up to level 12. But we just take all that health right back. Now the Onix sets up a Stealth Rock before I end up hitting him with the final Absorb to take him out. And this is going to be a bit of a problem for us. You're going to see why as he brings in his ace Pokemon here, which is going to be a Cranidos. The Stealth Rock is actually going to hit us with a couple minor inconveniences. So it would have been nice if Pluto could have taken down the Onix in just the one shot there. But what are you going to do? Nothing you really can do. So he's going to send out his Cranidos. And then I decide to stay in with Pluto here. Just see how much an Absorb does. Or excuse me, I decided to tank a Headbutt. I knew it was going to be a hard hit from the Cranidos. So I decided to stun him, just to take his speed down a little bit. So our Pokemon would be able to outspeed him. Now, I don't want to lose Pluto, because it's been so useful in the early game, and I want to be able to get up to get her to a Roserade. So I decided to switch in. Now the problem is I didn't want to switch into Mars, even though he has the super effective move against Cranidos. I don't want to put him in because he's immediately going to have to take damage. I wasn't sure how much damage, the Cranidos would do originally. So unfortunately, I decided to send in Geodude pretty much as our sack here. So Astrid's going to get hit pretty hard with a Bulldoze. Now, I have the Cranidos paralyzed, but he hit me with, on the Bulldoze, speed decrease. So I was hoping we'd be able to at least get one hit off, but the speed decrease, of course, fucked me over. So I never got a hit off, and unfortunately Astrid is our second Pokemon to fall. I really wanted to get out of the battle without losing one. I just couldn't make it. Our Geodude did have Sturdy too, but that's where the Stealth Rocks came in, because they broke our Sturdy right away, which that sucked. Now I finally sent in Mars because he wouldn't have to take that original damage, and you can see it was probably the move not to send him in instead of Astrid. Unfortunately, Astrid had to be sent in as just like a sack Pokemon, because I could use Power Up Punch, hit Cranidos first. The Bulldoze almost killed me. A crit would have killed actually, and that would have been no bueno. But then I could just hit the Cranidos one more time and take him out. So, as we get to the end of the episode, we lost 2 Pokemon to start, but we still have 7 others in the box. We grab our Coal Badge. I want to thank you all for watching the video, and I hope you have a good